By the time you're watching this video, there's a very good chance that Tesla has actually already shut down the Model Y assembly line in Giga Shanghai so they can officially switch over to the refresh, the Juniper 2025 Model Y update that we've been hearing so much about, and a bit more leaks and rumors are all starting to trickle out now as the transition is most likely in effect. Again, this is still rumor and leak territory, so I suppose there's a chance it's all wrong, but these are somewhat reputable sources that are reporting that October 22nd, which it already is in China by the time you're watching this video, is the day they're officially updating the assembly line, and at a rate of 15 units per day. So of course, there's a lot of design changes both for the interior and exterior. It will likely resemble a lot of the design changes we saw with the refreshed Model 3 earlier in 2024, so that includes the ambient lighting, the ventilated seats finally coming stock on a Model Y, updated door panel designs, updated display, center console, new steering wheel, no more gear stocks most likely on the cyberfied Model Y, moving towards more physical buttons on the steering wheel and thinner bezels on that display, along with an entirely new display on the rear so that the passengers in the back no longer have to ask the driver in the front to heat their seat or not. But the more we're hearing about the Model Y refresh, the more we're realizing it's not exactly just updating the Model Y to look how the refreshed Model 3 looks. No, actually, the most recent reports are saying that Tesla wants to go a little bit more with a cyber-themed Model Y, similar to these amazing mock-ups made by Dominic, which of course I don't think has gotten it exactly perfectly right, but he does make some incredibly good concept art, and it gives you an idea of where Tesla's headspace might be on the Model Y refresh, because there's actually reports now saying that the headlight design on the Juniper Model Y is going to be very reminiscent of what we saw on the Cybercab. So Tesla's likely seeing the virality and success and the brand image that all came from the Cybertruck, and they know how popular it is and how eye-catching it is, so they're thinking, how do we bring that Cybertruck aesthetic to our best-selling vehicle, which, by the way, Model Y has been crushing it lately, which is why this refresh feels a little bit more impactful than other refreshes out there. It's not like the Ford Mach-E just getting a heat pump, and we're like, oh, okay, cool, you moved your gear selector, and it's not even like the Model S getting some kind of refresh to make it a bit more stealthy, because that's a much lower volume vehicle. No, the Model Y just came out as Europe's best-selling vehicle, gas or electric, and of course it's already the most popular non-pickup truck in the US, so it's incredibly popular basically in every region it's in, but Tesla wants to take it to the next level. They know that the design of the Model Y has mostly remained unchanged since 2020, so it's coming up on 5 years that it's basically looked the same. It's a great vehicle, a lot of people are happy with it, but again, if you don't refresh these vehicles every so often, there's less and less of a reason to buy it new, because the used models are just getting more and more affordable, and frankly, that's still a great choice for a lot of people out there. If you want to buy a Model Y from a few years ago to cut basically the price in half, there might be some out-of-warranty repair costs you have to cover, but still, there'd have to be a lot of replacement parts before you get to the part where it was cheaper to just buy a new vehicle. So to keep the new market compelling and interesting for buyers that are willing to spend a little bit more money on a new vehicle, Tesla has to spice it up a little bit, and I'm excited to hear that they're bringing changes to the headlight design, which hasn't officially leaked yet, but the taillight design definitely looks a lot different from the Model 3. It appears like a light bar will be on the rear, and they might even have some new light show tricks up their sleeve, but the question now remains is, okay, if Giga Shanghai is already making the switch of manufacturing over to the refresh Model Y, when is Tesla officially going to unveil it? When are they going to talk about the improved aerodynamics? What features are they prioritizing on this? Does it get better suspension? Does it get better glass? Personally, I know it's a long stretch and it probably isn't going to happen, but I'm really hoping for steer-by-wire. I just think that was the coolest feature that the Cybertruck had, and I would love to see that come to smaller, more affordable vehicles out there. Probably not going to happen, but a boy can dream. Well, it's not impossible that Tesla could decide to unveil it or announce it as soon as their earnings call, which is on Wednesday, but I will admit that's probably not the most likely scenario, because Tesla has to be very careful here, because the Model Y is their bread and butter right now. It's their most profitable vehicle that they sell at the highest volume, and there's a very real chance that if Tesla unveils the refreshed Model Y, the Cyber Model Y over in China, and if they do what they did last year with the Model 3, they'll make no mention of it here in the US, and they'll just act like it doesn't exist, and the reason they do that is they don't want to cannibalize current day sales. So I think what's most likely is Tesla, similar to the Model 3, wants to refresh it in the United States right at the beginning of the new year. I know in the past people say like, oh, Tesla doesn't do Model model year refreshes, they're constantly updating them, but you think it's just pure coincidence that they refreshed the Model S and X at the very start of 2021, like in January, and then they refreshed the Model 3 at the very start of 2024, at least in the United States, so that helps the model years differentiate them a little bit more. But yes, I know while Tesla does make changes throughout the year, I do think they save kind of the bigger overarching refreshes where there's fundamental massive changes to the interior and exterior, like the Juniper refresh. I do think they save that for model year, so their target internally is most likely to have it out in the US by Q1 of next year. But again, if they announce it too early, then nobody's going to want to buy the old-fashioned Model Y near the end of 2024, and Tesla still has a couple months to go to try to hit record delivery numbers in Q4. So my guess is, even though Giga Shanghai is going to start building the refresh Model Ys, they probably won't officially announce them or unveil them, and even when they do, it's most likely just going to be on Chinese social media. They probably won't brag about it too much here in the US. And then to compensate for likely that pent-up demand and a lot of the press saying that this refresh Model Y is coming to the US in Q1, Tesla will probably have some end-of-year offers. So if you don't care about the Cyber-esque Model Y Juniper refresh and you would rather have your gear stocks and you don't care about ventilated seats and all that, there's probably going to be some good deals coming up in the next few months, because I think Tesla's going to see a huge drop-off in demand for the Model Y, at least in the US, in anticipation for the refresh, and then they'll start offering like a free year of FSD or 2 years or 3 years of free supercharging with the car, and depending on how bad the demand gets as people are waiting for the refresh, they might incentivize even more. They could do some massive price cuts, they might offer premium connectivity for life with the car, or get something really crazy like that. But they're already offering free FSD transfers for all Teslas, by the way, even the Cybertruck. So if you have FSD on your current Tesla and then you buy a base model $80,000 Cybertruck, which you don't have to get invited for, by the way, anybody can just go on the website and order it, you can transfer FSD over to it. So I think Tesla's already seeing not as much demand as they're able to supply for their vehicles. It doesn't mean that they're selling bad by any means, it just means that Tesla's building more cars than they can sell. Even though they're selling at record volumes and no one is selling more EVs than Tesla, still, they could be selling more, and I'm sure Tesla would rather have a backlog than a surplus, and I don't think that's a hot take, right? But ultimately, I'm excited that it sounds like the production for these new Model Ys is starting about right now. It was near this time that Tesla started refreshing the Model 3 last year in other markets outside of the United States, so there's a very real chance that they could unveil it in Asia anytime now, so this video might be dated quickly, but as soon as we have more information and data about the pricing and the range and the features, I'll be sure to detail them for you on this channel. But keep your eyes peeled, and if you're willing to wait a little bit longer and you're excited at all for some of these changes rumored to come to the Model Y, I know Tesla doesn't want me saying this, but I do think now is probably a good time to start waiting. Thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.